This is the best toy I've ever seen any grown man have. Oh my god. Oh my god.
All right.
I literally was like, oh, it's on some studio lot, and somebody gives them a little room. I was like, no.
Oh, when I told you it was a closet, you thought, yeah, no, it really is. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Late Night Playset. My name is Jay Ryan. To my right over here is Nicole Ryan. We've got a great guest this evening lined up. We're talking to him already. It's Nile Evans, and producer Errol is in the house as well. Goodness gracious. What is up? Nile's still taking it all in. I don't think he knows what to make of any of this. And the wide cam has gotten even wider. What's up, Hank on camera 4? What's up? He's taking it all in. He's taking it all in.
Are these iPhones?
Yeah, it's all iOS based. I designed the whole thing. Come on, buddy. Come on. Have you been to the Smoking Tire yet? If not, you should do his show too. But I built his studio too because he came here and he was like, I want this. Give me this. Yeah. Anyway, Late Night Playset starting right now. Well, let's see who's here. Hang on. Hank on camera 4 is here. Auto Kennel says, woo, my eardrums. Thank you. Spirit CS95 joined. Shazam Mike says, hey-o. What's up, everybody? We're going to fire it up. You trim your beard. You look great. And he did a shave. Everybody looks great. I want to do this. What's up with those? Kurt must be here. Hi, what's up, dude? What's up, guys? Tommy. How are you? Good to see you guys. Good morning.
Yo, this is beyond right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so unimpressed by anything. And I am just over the moon right now. Like, you don't understand. I'm like, yeah, that was cool. Like, this is insane.
Oh, well, I'm sweating over here. I've been working up a storm. Everybody, welcome back to the Late Night Playset. Here we go. Get that light right out of Mrs. Ryan's eyes there. Tonight is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. What's up, Mrs. Ryan?
Hello.
How are you?
It's fine.
We haven't been here in the studio with everybody in a little bit. Excuse me while I blot my face here. Goodness gracious. Little shiny. Woo! I was running around the whole time, whatever. How are you doing? It's our first time back in studio in a couple weeks.
Fine.
Fine.
I'm just, none of my parts feel connected, so I'm...
Yeah, give us all an MS update, because it's been a while since we've actually...
The MS update is my legs really don't work, and I feel very disconnected, so I'm very wobbly. It's like a puppet without any bone structure.
Yeah, that's the physical. How does it affect your mental when your physical is that confused? It's more taxing on the mental, right?
It's more taxing. It takes more energy to figure out what's really happening because your head feels like it's on a boat and cloudy all the time. So the energy required to clear that out is a lot.
What you mean by that is you can never really get your bearings. You're kind of always a little off. Is that what you meant by being on a boat?
Yeah.
Don't want to be put words.
I don't want to live like that. That's horrible. So I choose to spend the energy to remain calm as much as possible.
And stay present.
Yes.
Which unfortunately is a double-edged sword when you're in so much pain and discomfort.
Yes. When you're really present, that's very loud.
Yeah, I bet.
But I smoke a lot. I vape a lot of pot. So I would be in a ton of pain if that wasn't the case.
You know, that is 100% true. But speaking of the pot that you vape and a lot of pain, do you have any idea what happened to Cannabis 996 Swag today?
I saw his car. Oh, my God.
Everyone knows what I'm talking about?
Broke my heart.
Woo! All right, here's a quick video here. This is he posted on his social media, so I'm okay showing it here. This is our friend 996 Swag from Breakfast Club. Hell of a segue, Mrs. Ryan. Speaking of pain and cannabis. By the way, he owns cannabis companies and dispensaries. It's not like he was high while he was driving. I don't mean to imply that. Right. It's not that. He's a businessman. But here's what happened to him today in his Porsche. That is a sobering sight there for me. Wow. That is our friend 996 Swag, Chris Gabriel, who comes up to GVBC. We've known that car for years. R.I.P. Yeah. R.I.P. to that 996. He just rebuilt it last year and did a tremendous amount of money and suspension, and he basically made it a GT3 over at TLG. That was unintentional. Got that job done ASAP, I'll tell you what. Anyway, so RIP to the 99 Schwagmobile. Luckily, he's got other Porsches he can drive, so it's not that. And the best thing is, thank God he was okay, because when you look at that carnage, I would think the person was dead.
I thought I was so worried.
I thought it was one of our CHP people, posting a horrible wreck, and I go, ooh, I know those wheels in that car. And I was like, okay, thank God it's him. That means he's okay. It all rolled through my... remember the day that David rolled down the crest in Guards Rat? It was the day this stuff arrived here from the truck from New York. We were all excited. And then Freddie, the owner of Newcomb's, sends me a message saying, holy Jesus, Jay, is David okay? And all of that ran through. Of course, he was okay, but it was him. All of the same thing rolled through my head again. Oh, buddy, thank God you're okay. Seriously, thank God you're okay. That's going to go viral for sure. If he puts that up on his stories, that's going to be like... Yeah. It's going to be like the guy jumping the Tesla.
I saw the post, and I was horrified, and I was like, he must have put it up. Once I knew he put it up, it was...
Then you're usually okay. And then at some point, insurance tells you to take it down and whatever. So what happened there, by the way, was not him. He was T-boned by a box truck doing 65 plus. So I don't know how or whatever, how that looked like, maybe somebody coming on. I don't know exactly, but he got creamed on the right side. And he said by a big box truck. Holy God, that's just ridiculous. All right, we're blowing through it here. There are so many things on this blue card, we're not going to get to them all tonight because this is our first show back. We'll have to do some of this stuff on Thursday. Maybe producer Ariel can help us with that. I don't know. Also, we should say hi to producer Mike over here, who is checking in from Canada. What's up, buddy?
Hey, kids. I'm glad your buddy's all right.
That was nutty, huh?
Yeah, that's horrific.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you before the show, so you didn't even know about any of that stuff. But life's been pretty chaotic lately.
Well, I'm glad to hear everyone's okay, and I'm sorry that you're on a boat, Nicole. I hope you get off soon.
Thanks, Mike.
How you doing out there, buddy? You good?
Yeah, life's really good. Had 3 very good podcasts today, and just rolling along, and very happy to be here.
Good Lord, this guy's like The Price is Right, shooting 3 in a day.
Come on down, baby.
I don't know. How do you do it? 3 in a day is a lot, man. I don't know.
Well,
I guess I never got
have
into the game show. What's that?
I don't have the setup that you do. So for me, it's just kind of turn the thing on, turn the zooms on, and then go for it. You've got a much more intricate setup down there.
I mean, I obviously you're right. Obviously you're right. But also, for me, it's the headspace. I'm impressed with your being able to set up 3 different shows, headspace, and run them all and do them all. 3 different interviews with 3 different type of people. That to me is impressive. For me, it would almost be easier because I am just doing the same thing over and over. It's like, the technicals of it all. Oh, okay, 3 in a day. Boom, boom, boom.
This is different emotional topics.
Yeah.
Good job.
For anyone just tuning in, Mike hosts his own podcast called He Cast, but it's on the He Changed It app and podcast network. Or words to that effect. Something like that, right?
It's a men's mental wellness podcast. Yeah, my wife has He Changed It. Go to hechangeit.com if you want to check it out. It's a men's mental wellness app, and it's going real well.
Yeah, you are going real well. You're killing it, buddy. We'll talk more about that later. But today, there's a viewer mail. There's an East Coast feed. We have to talk and give an update on the foundation, which is very exciting. And obviously, there's a what's new. Where have you been? We weren't here last week. We made a lot of changes around here, even though what you see is very much the same. But it was logistical changes. It was behind the scenes changes. It was things so that we can grow this and be able to run it as an operation behind the scenes. We do this out of our place. And that was apparent for a while. Other than this bitchin' studio, it was kind of like you were always in someone's space. Now there's a separate office, green room. Now it's kind of like the living space is behind that door, whatever.
Separated.
Yeah, and like it's not so awkward when Jay Leno comes over here to do your little show. You know what I mean? Now it's kind of like an operation. This is sort of like going to somebody's podcast these days. Usually it'd be in an industrial park instead of a condo, but whatever.
I'm just glad I don't have to come out of my bedroom anymore to say hi. Totally. Our guest this evening is Nile Evans. Nile Evans is no stranger to any of this. I think that's why he's so taken with what we do. He's like, yeah, you're doing television in your dining room. That's what you're doing.
This is amazing. Oh my God.
We're going to talk to him in a couple minutes, but Ariel, what do you think? Viewer mail or East Coast feed or foundation? What is first?
Foundation.
Oh, geez, I was afraid you were going to say that. That's the one I was least prepared for. All right. but that's the one everyone wants to hear about. So good news on the foundation. While not everything is done, we have been approved. Our paperwork has been approved. We have gotten our numbers and our stamps and all of the things you're supposed to get from the state of California that are apparently very difficult to get for a 501c3. We have gotten them all. Everything has been signed off and dotted and T'd and whatever. Crossed, however you say those things. So it is with great pleasure that I can tell you the name of this Mrs. Nicole Shabbat Ryan Foundation, for lack of a better term, we've been calling it the whole time. Now, as you all know, multiple sclerosis is an autoimmunity and illness. I almost said disease. We're not even convinced it's a disease, but that's part of what your foundation is going to do. So, can't believe it wasn't taken. But may I present to you the Autoimmunity Foundation.
I love it.
Fostering community within the auto community and educating autoimmunity.
So dope. So dope.
Fostering community through autoimmunity. Come on. Is it crazy? So that's why we were really
dope.
secretive about it until we had it locked because we couldn't believe that it was even available. So it's going to be, autoimmunefoundation.org and all that stuff. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to us. Congratulations to everyone who has helped along the way, both in, monetary donations and just the physical tasks of getting a foundation started. Danny, SomeGuy997, you're my hero. Thank you. Everyone else who has helped, whether it was advice or helping slide paperwork through, whatever, thank you. Oh, yeah, I know, right? Cue the bubbles for sure. It is something to celebrate. And you, I'm just really, really excited for you because I think that going forward, you have something to commit your energies to that is bigger than you. And I think that's important.
Me too.
And here come the bubbles.
Yay, congratulations.
Thanks, lady.
That's good stuff. Good stuff all around. All right. We don't have to. One more thing. Now, should we? I might make this call because I'm sick of having this box back here. It's gonna be a viewer mail.
That's what I was going to say.
But again, because it's again for the missus. While it was sent to me, I'll give you some backstory here. a friend of mine from high school, when I first moved back to Wilton High School, where I'm from, the town where I remember my parents were divorced. I'm telling everyone else, but it's via my wife here. When I was a kid, my parents were divorced and they lived in different towns or whatever. When I moved back to Wilton, a friend from high school I made for life with her family, I guess, at the very least, because her brother sent you a care package. This is from Dane Cooney, and I don't really understand what any of this stuff is, but it's supposed to make you more comfortable. So do you want the whole box, or should I give you the individual items?
Individual items.
I was afraid of that, but I don't know what anything is. Here's this. We might have to open this stuff to see. Here, let's give you the big one first.
Great.
This is supposed to be, like home spa type items, things to make you more comfortable.
Cozy.
Things to make you more comfortable.
Looks like a.
I think that's a
blanket.
big. I think it's a big blanket. This is a CC beanie,
Ooh, big lamb
Nice.
beanie.
Yeah, a little lamb.
but it's got the cool whatever. Like this material is very in right now. It used to be like fleece. Now it's like something else, really even softer than fleece.
Ooh, feels so.
Yeah. So this is from Dane Cooney. Thank you, Dane Cooney. It's the entire
this is
Cooney
so
family. And there you go. See? It's totally worth it. And shout out to Shannon Cooney, who I haven't talked to in years and years and years, for no reason. No good reason. Here's this. No, that's,
Socks?
I think that's socks.
Oh, amazing.
So it's all really super soft stuff. And if you get too chilly in the in here, I'll get this soft stuff. This, woo! Oh, it's everywhere, isn't it? Little fold. Looks great. A lot of stuff. Anyway, if you get chilly at any point, we'll open that for you, and you can have it right here in the studio. You good?
Yeah.
You take it all back? All right. There we go. Viewer mail. Done.
So soft.
Sweet. Thank you, Dane. And the company, by the way, he wanted to donate to your thing, and he was like, but, I don't really love donating monetarily. And I was like, you don't have to do anything, brother. Just you calling me and, send me a message is enough to say that you cared. Yeah. But he said, I like to send care packages. And I was like, well, first of all, you're right after my own heart. I get it. I don't know what happened here, but I fixed it, and it's broken again. Now, it won't stay put. But the company is Barefoot Dreams. Oh, in Agora Hills, California. Hilarious. They're out here.
Oh,
Local shipping.
it's so soft.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, here we go. Cozy Cheek beanie, a Cozy Cheek throw, and a Cozy Cheek women's herringbone socks.
Awesome.
There you go.
Everything I want. That's great.
Beautiful. All right. Have we said anything of importance? Your foundation, that was really good. I made you are, there is stuff.
Am I covered in, recently get here.
We will regain our composure here momentarily. All right. I got to go down the card and make some crosses here. Having to do this is not helping me do anything. There we go. Oh, that actually helped. So long. Foundation done. Viewer mail done. We'll save East Coast Feed and Pee-wee's Playhouse for Thursday.
Okay.
Okay, that's a teaser. Remember Pee-wee's? Remember that?
I do
Miss
remember.
Yvonne.
I do.
All right, so that leaves just commercials to do right now, and it's your favorite time of the show because I know how much you love commercials. Do you?
I do.
Okay. They say all which separates men and boys is the coverage of their toys. What types of toys, Mrs. Ryan?
Collector.
That's right. Licensed in most states, St. Clair Insurance shops top provider, so you get the best coverage for your toys. Simply go to Google. After you get your computer out of the closet, plug it in, dial up that internet, go to Google, get your www going, and then simply go to coverageforyourtoys.com, coverageforyourtoys.com.
Coverageforyourtoys.com.
And tell Jeff St. Clair that we said hello, and tell him we're sorry that we weren't here last week, because he paid the bills, but we weren't, so we made sure to hit him real hard on the Instagram lives. And now we're going to hit him real hard this week over here as well.
Jeff, it's why I talk slow.
It's more airtime, more screen time. Coverage
Totally.
for your toys.
Get
.com.
every penny.
In addition to that, our buddy Taylor over there runs Series 1 Films, and this episode has been brought to you in part by Series 1 Films. Series 1 Films helps automotive brands create engaging cinematic content for social media and advertising to grab you and hold your ideal customer's attention. Check them out at series1films.com. That's a number one. Series 1 Films.
Great.
Taylor. Yeah. All right. Good. Lots of love on the Instagram. Lots of love to the stories over here. I have a feeling those purple hearts must be coming from our producer now that I'm just realizing with her babes and classics. But you're probably running the chat over here, I'm guessing, now that I see you with your phone.
Dipping in.
I love it. That's what you're doing. Thanks for doing it.
I put in the barefoot stuff, so the cozy stuff.
The barefoot stuff?
Yeah, barefoot. What was it called? I already forgot. See, it's a good thing I wrote it down.
What, you looked it up and put it out there?
Barefoot Dreams.
Oh, you're awesome.
You wrote it. You said I didn't look it up yet, but it's in there.
That's fantastic. Ugh, we got a good team here. And producer Mike in Canada holding it down north of the border. I love it. I love it.
I'm taking notes, man.
Everything okay politically up there? There's nothing happening on this hemisphere, right? You're good up there?
We're all watching what our neighbors down south are doing with bated breath to make sure that, hopefully everything is here next week as well.
Are you talking about us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You guys are the big brother, man.
I don't want anything to do with it. I have no participation in any of this nonsense. I'm sane in the plane, bro. Left wing, right wing, I don't get what any of you are all doing. I think everybody's crazy these days. Sane in the plane. Forgive me. We don't get political on this show, so I'll just be in
we
the
don't
cabin
have to
enjoying the
anymore.
in-flight cocktail. All right, we did it, right? Quick break, simply to move some cameras around and get our guest in here. It's going to be Nile Evans. We're going to be talking about Wild 'N Out because I can't not talk about it. Okay. And anything you want, I want to talk about everything. I want to know how you did it. I want to know how you wanted to do it and how you did it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let's talk about it.
It impresses the hell out of me. All that and more right after Mrs. Ryan. These brief messages from our friends at Oh So Delicious Hot Sauce. The hot sauce, Mrs. Ryan.
Made by bears.
Oh, so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Garlic and serrano mixed with love and care. You can put it on your eggs, pour it on your rice. It's great on a leg, it's better on a slice. It's oh so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Oh, so delicious hot sauce. Great on everything except oatmeal.
Get your bottle today at ohsodelicious.org. $1 from every bottle sold goes to the National Military Family Association.
I'm Johnny Lieberman, and you're watching LNP. What does LNP stand for?
Late Night Playset.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've been on there. Yeah, it's a good show. You should like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
What are you driving today? 63 356B. Hey, 111. What are you driving today? Here we go. Oh, this is fun, David. Thumbs up for sure.
This just proves that you don't have to go fast to have fun.
You don't have to go fast. Can you see my smile already?
Okay, I'm impressed.
You don't need to stick it. He's already got it. My car's going to feel slow as balls after this, I'll tell you that. Pedal down. Yeah, baby.
Wow. You don't understand.
One more because we're late.
I suffer from anxiety and depression. How do those two energies go together? Like, ah,
Oh.
ah,
Oh.
I'm afraid of the future.
I regret the past.
How did this happen?
I blame myself.
I need to face my fear.
I gotta lay down.
Oh, so you say. And with that, we are back. We are back with Nile Evans. He doesn't know what to make of any of this or us anymore.
Is amazing. Understand this. Like, I am all the way blown away. I need one of these.
One of these studios?
I need one. I've never, ever seen anything like this.
I feel like when you want to make TV, they give you a real studio, no?
Yeah. They go here. Here's some money, and let's go get a soundstage. You're like, no, I'm gonna just use my bonus room.
Well, one thing led to another with us. One thing led to another because this was, it began with her not being able to work anymore. I don't even know, we've only recently really just gotten to know each other up there. So you probably don't know. She used to be a comedy publicist, personal publicist for everybody in comedy, from Chris Rock to Tracy Morgan.
Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I don't know why I named the two black guys. Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
Serena Williams, too.
He's not going to know the other one.
No, but like everybody. She opened Superbad. Everybody on this
Get out
wall.
of here.
All the Feral crew, all the Apatow crew.
Dope.
So she worked with all those guys for years and years and years, and then when she got MS, couldn't necessarily do that work anymore. So then it became, what the hell do we do? How do we work from home? Everyone was starting a podcast. A couple years later, here we are.
Yo, this is. Listen, I'm going to be talking about this for weeks. I know it.
Please tell your friends.
I'm going to be
Tell your
like,
friends.
you don't understand what I just walked into in someone's bonus room, and I literally was like, I said, he's got an office on some sound stage, and somebody gave him a little corner, and they lit it, and the whole nine. And you're like,
good friends. He's got good friends.
I'm like, you got great friends
Yep.
that are like, and then you're like, no, this isn't my house. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I promise you.
It's better than some sets that I've shot on. Like,
This is
legitimately
so
big money.
cool.
Like, yes.
Like, I've done network shows that
Yep.
don't have the lighting that this has.
For real.
But I told you, I came up as an apprentice doing production work at 30 Rock, like working on Saturday Night Live and Conan and Rosie O'Donnell
So
and
this
Today
is
Show
your
and stuff.
world.
Once we said we're going to do this and we added video, I was like, well, but if I know how to make it better, how do I not do that? How do I not do that?
How do I not utilize my own skill set?
There it is.
Like, why
While
would I
trying
not
to
do
develop this other one of being on camera.
Right. Because that wasn't a thing that you wanted to do?
Well, it was nothing I ever pursued. I think as a little kid I wanted to. I went to broadcasting school after high school and everything.
nice.
But my dad died right after and life sort of got crazy and it just got in the way and I took a different path.
Wow.
But I think had I just, stayed on my path, yeah, for sure.
Wow.
So it's sort of like
you're a natural.
Okay.
Like, this is your thing. Like, this is your bag. I'm like, you need to be, like, this needs to be on a network.
Thank you.
Yep.
This needs
Keep
to
saying
be
it.
on a network. Netflix needs to pick this up.
You know the best part of our show? Low overhead.
You think?
Yeah.
This is insane. This is insane.
I am so grateful. This response from you, or from anyone really, but this response is why I built this room, because that's how I feel when I walk in here. I'm amazed every time that it's possible, and that's what I always loved about television. When I was a kid walking into 30 Rock, taking the tour, and walking in and seeing everything was so small and like kind of beat up, and like nothing was how you thought it was. Everything was magic. I fell in love.
Yeah, this is insane.
All right. Well, that's me. How about you? Why did you get into this business? What the hell? You're incredibly accomplished, but you started nowhere because that's where everybody starts.
Everybody starts nowhere. So, wow, I'm still so blown away.
Oh, we can. I don't mean to rush it along.
No.
I don't mean to rush it along.
I love it because it kind of segues because like every time I'm on our set for Wild and Out, I'm more blown away because it gets bigger every season or every couple of seasons. So
or they add something.
They add something like these big Jumbotron screens, and I just go. I remember when we did our first episode, the pilot, which we'll go into a little bit, and I go, we did this thing in this small little space where we had to turn off the air conditioner just to tape, and now it's like this big thing. And
huge studio.
It's crazy just to see where it goes, and then. Like, for me to see this is like, this is so impressive. This is the coolest toy anyone has ever shown me right here. Is I got my own playset. You come from this world, and you're like, I made this playset. Is the dope. Like, people will tell you about me. They're like, Nile's like, yeah, that's cool. Literally, I'm not an expressive guy. People will be like, now, if anyone is tuning in that knows me, they'll be like this. Now I'll be like this. That's cool. I like that. I am beyond. You don't understand how this makes me feel. Like, this is. I can go on and on.
Then I feel all of this is probably happening at the right time. Because if you had come a year ago, it wouldn't have been here. You know what I mean?
Right. But I love the fact that you just went and did it. You just went and did it.
I'm Mr. Commit or Bust, yeah.
Let's
And I'll go way
all in.
overboard.
Listen, overboard is what makes this thing so great and so cool. And you know what it is? It's the details. Like, I see all the details.
Yeah,
and I see the depth of what you did with that frame right there. And I see that you, like, everything in here.
You really were picking up on things even before. You're like, oh, the cameras are all numbered, and you got
all
everything's
numbered. I'm
labeled.
like, this is a real deal thing. And everything is, this is like a little, like what you said, Reggie said, this is a train set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what Reggie Watts said when he got here. He's
And
like,
this is
you're like a model railroader, he said.
You're a model railroader TV show guy.
That's right.
This is insane.
Well, if we had the space, I probably would have done it bigger or whatever, but
No,
this is
you
what
know
we had to
what?
work
I'm
with,
glad
so
you
this
only
is
had
what
the
it
space,
became.
Because
you have to be creative.
It would have. It's almost like if you have more space, you would have been trying too hard. The confines of this is what, to me, makes it so cool. Is that you're like, I only have a little bit of space.
I'm going to use every inch.
I'm going to use every inch of it, but I'm going to make this shit amazing. Like, look, the cameras are numbered. This is you don't understand. Like, this is. I wish I could. You guys need to have tours here.
Okay.
Like,
that's how I got into it.
This is
damn NBC tour.
NBC tour. So back to my journey into it. So my uncle, who actually created the Jamie Foxx show, you met him a couple weeks ago.
Oh, of
he
course.
was with me. My Uncle Bentley, Nile Evans. He was the.
That was the sketch show that he had, or the sitcom?
No, it was a sitcom.
Okay, got it.
He had a sitcom, but prior to that, when I was 12, he took me to see Do the Right Thing.
Oh, whoa.
I went and saw Do the Right Thing, and I was
Wait,
like...
you mean to the set of the movie?
No. He took me to the actual movie when I was 12.
Oh, to see the movie?
To see the movie in the theater. And so, like, that was the first time I'd seen a black guy that was young that kind of not looked like me, but, like, he was black. And he made this movie, and he's this young black guy, and I was like, yo, that's so dope that he did this movie. And I was just like...
Like, he didn't wait for permission, he just did it.
Nah, he just did it.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Samuel French Bookstore. I lived in South Central, like in the hood. Like, I had to ride 4 buses to wake up at 12 years old to get to Samuel French Bookstore for his book signing. And I was like the second person there. I was like 7 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't eaten, like,
whoa. And
I got to meet Spike Lee, and he signed my book and everything. She was an absolute jerk to me. But he was an absolute jerk, but I ended up telling him about it later on, but it was pretty cool.
Can't wait to hear that story sometime.
Right. So I saw this movie and I was like, wow, this is super dope. And my uncle he was into the business as an actor, and then he started writing for Martin Lawrence. And so he started out writing on the Martin Lawrence show. And
on Martin the show.
On the Martin
I
show.
know Tisha Campbell, of course. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
Yeah, so we did. So he did that. Down the line, he ended up being the showrunner of that at like 26, 27 years old. And
I remember these stories. I just didn't know that person or that person as your uncle.
Yeah, that's who he is. And so I was in high school then when he was doing Martin, and then he created Jamie Foxx show. And he was running both of those shows simultaneously. It was like the youngest black man to ever do that. And so I was so impressed by that. And I was in college my second year, and I was like, send me a script. I want to read the script. I want to see how it all works. And
you were going to deconstruct it in your brain, basically?
Yeah, I was like, let me read this. Like, how hard can this be?
Oh, to maybe write one yourself.
Yeah, to maybe write one myself, because he was a writer. So I was like, I see a guy that looks like me doing that, and I was like, oh, I love this Spike Lee stuff. I used to read all his scripts.
It's inspiring you already.
Yeah, and so it just kind of worked out. And so he gave me a few scripts, and then there was a time in college where I was in my 3rd year. I stopped playing basketball, and I couldn't go back to school. I had a hardship. I couldn't afford to go back to school. Mm-hmm. And I'm in school, like this is my 3rd year going in, and business fair's like, yo, no tuition. What are you gonna do? I'm already moved into the dorms.
Right.
So I call him and I say, yo, I gotta go. And he says, well, look, I'm doing pretty good. He says, I'm gonna give you a choice. I'm gonna give you 24 hours. He says, do you want to finish school? Because if you want to finish school, I'll pay for you to finish school. or you can come start working on the Jamie Foxx show because that's what you want to do. And I said, I'll call you right back. I didn't call my mom. Within 20 minutes, I called him back. I said, I need some money for tires for my car.
Because I got to drive to you.
I got to drive to L.A. He's like, say no more. And he was like, cool. And I slept on his couch and
started working at the Jamie Foxx show. What were you doing? What kind of stuff?
I was a production assistant.
Oh, like on set?
On set. He
awesome.
was like, no free rides. Like, he was like, you start at the bottom.
Go impress these people.
Go get coffee. Go get my car washed. Go do this. Go do that. And I remember, like, that was when they did script delivery.
Oh, yeah.
And script delivery.
That was when I was a PA.
Yeah, right. And,
oh, yeah.
Now
you're going to every actor's house.
Yeah. And you're like, you're up till 4. Like, first of all, they end the day and it's like 11 o'clock.
No, hang on. The very last thing to happen from anybody at writing or production is for the script to come out. Then they photocopy it, blah, blah, blah. Then envelope it, and then send the PA out in the car at 1 in the morning or whatever.
1 in the morning. And then you get to their house, and there's 5 scripts because they're not going to read it at 1 in the morning.
They're not even in town, usually.
At all. And then you get back, and you have, like, you got to get up early that morning just to copy more scripts.
Oh, yeah.
It was,
PAs didn't have a turnaround, so it was like, 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah,
see you in the morning.
Yeah,
we're going home.
Yeah. And so I did that for a few years, and so writer's strike happens.
Which one? The 2000s?
The 2000s,
okay.
I think. And it was a big one. And so writer's strike happens, and I'm like close to getting put on as like getting in somebody's room. I'm submitting stuff everywhere. And
while you're a PA at the show, you're still submitting.
PA, yeah, I'm submitting. I almost got a script for Jamie Foxx, but someone else beat me out.
Yep.
There's all these things. So I'm grinding, trying to be a writer. And so at the time, Will Smith comes to my uncle and says, hey, I got this kid. His name is Nick Cannon. I want you to see him. My uncle had a 6-episode commitment at Warner Brothers. So he was like, yo, we could use these 6 episodes for this kid's show that I really love. And so we went and saw him, and it happened to be Nick Cannon. And we saw him.
Had he done anything at that point?
Yeah, it was stand-up.
Oh,
no, it was just a stand-up.
Okay, no drum line, none of that yet.
No drum line. Had maybe done some Nickelodeon stuff, maybe a little bit.
Okay.
But it was like early on. He was like the warm-up over at Nickelodeon, and so
Will just saw something in this kid.
Will saw him and was like, "Yo, this kid is exactly me," and he was like, we got to give him a shot. He's a stand-up. He's 16 years old doing stand-up.
Liquid energy.
Yeah, right. And so, so I met Nick, and we're kind of. I'm 20. He's 16. And he's
so the kids.
Yeah, so we're like the two young guys.
You're palling up.
Yeah, we're palling up, and he's like calling me all the time. Hey man, come hang out with us. Me and Keenan, we have this house. Like they lived in the Hollywood Hills. Him and Keenan.
Yeah.
In the Hollywood Hills, and I was like, yo, this is
the Nickelodeon family.
Yeah, I'm like, this kid has a Range Rover at 16.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like it was amazing, and so. So he would always call me, let's hang out, let's write some stuff. And he did a version of the Nick Cannon show prior for Nickelodeon. He was like, yo, man, I want you to help write on this thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let me help out, whatever. And so, so I'm still PAing. I'm still doing stuff kind of adjacent, you know, and writer strike happens. I'm trying to stay in the business, but I'm working a temp job at an insurance company.
Every actual writer is struggling, let alone someone trying to be a writer.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to get on. And I'm like, I'm not even in the door yet. And then it's like, all this happens. So, how long do you have?
Oh, no, this is great. I had another half hour or so.
Okay, cool. I'll rush through this. So, so I end up, where am I? Writer strike happens.
By the way, this is all the stuff we want to know, so don't really rush through.
Okay,
like
great.
we're totally into it.
Okay, cool. So writer strike happens, and I'm working at this insurance company for like a year. I hate it. I'm like just inputting stuff and yeah, you're verified. Yeah, okay, good.
Also,
like,
I was
terrible.
just doing what I loved doing.
That's
the worst.
Loving
soul-sucking.
that, and now I'm over here wearing slacks. I'm wearing slacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There it is.
Slacks, right? And I'm like, slacks, and like, you have to wear a button up. I'm cringing every day, like, I have to wear a button up, right? So, literally, I'm working there for about a year, and Nick calls me out of the blue. He says, "Yo, man, I got this record deal. You want to come on the road with me?" And I was like, "Dude, I want to write television." I'm like, "What do you mean? What does that mean?"
Also, why does a record deal equate to going on the road? They don't. There's two different things.
Well, kinda, because he's like, "I'm gonna go on this Nickelodeon tour because I got a record deal, so I'm rapping now."
Oh, hilarious.
So I'm like, okay.
But on the Nickelodeon tour, he's performing the rap.
He's performing, so he's like, I need somebody like you who can kind of watch my back. And you're like, oh, you want me to be like a security? He's like, yeah, you could be my security assistant, road manager. I'm like,
Sounds like he wants a producer.
I'm like, oh. And so he says, look, man, give me a year or two on the road. He says, one, we're going to have a great time. Two, he says, you know, we're going to write something. I promise you we'll write something together. And so I said, he's like, my manager's going to call you. Manager never calls. 2 days later, 1 or 2 days later, they're like, layoffs are coming. Got laid off.
From the insurance company?
From the insurance company, 2 days later.
Well, that's a blessing.
So then Nick calls me. He's like, hey, did my manager call? I was like, nah, it was Hollywood. You know, people are just talking. He was like, no, what are you talking about? He didn't call you?
He's like, no, I'm really trying to set this up.
He's like, yeah, no, I'm going to get him on the phone. He puts me on three-way. I'm gone for a month, like on the road.
So boom, it was real.
It was real. And he took me on the road, and I ended up being his stylist. I was the road manager. I was the assistant. I was whatever he needed.
Yeah, whatever has a budget, right?
Yeah, and it's just me and my friend traveling the world doing the coolest things because I'd never been to spring break. Ever. I was like, ooh, that's stuff white people do. I'd never had a chance.
I've never been
Rich white people. Let's make it
rich,
right.
okay, rich white people, right? Because I was like, oh, I don't get to see many of us there. So I went to 3 spring breaks that year. And
Oh
I
my
was
God.
Just like,
Oh my God.
this is insane.
I've never been to one.
Right?
No, thank you.
So I get to do all this cool stuff. I'm at Grammys. I'm here, and I'm hobnobbing with everyone. I'm just like, this is pretty amazing. My life is pretty cool in my 20s.
Yes.
And so I'm traveling. We're traveling the world, and it's just me and him. And so, long story short, down the line, Nick is doing a bunch of stuff with MTV. The head of the network at the time, Tony DeSanto, says, yo, man, we got to do something with you, Nick. We got to figure out a show for you. And so Nick, that night we flew back to LA, and Nick was like, this is what we're going to do for MTV.
He already had an idea.
He said, we're going to do Whose Line Is It Anyway? With black people and hip-hop, music. And that's what we're going to do. And I was like, I thought we were going to do a sitcom.
You're like, I wanted to write. Sounds like
stuff.
improv.
Yeah, like the Writers Guild might not be involved here. You know?
Yeah, totally.
You know? So yeah, we wrote it up the next day, got a few friends involved, and we wrote this thing up. And then Nick took his own money, and we went to the Comedy Union, a little small spot over on Pico next to Roscoe's. It's a little small comedy spot, like about the size of this place right here.
I love the Roscoe's on Pico, the
right.
original Roscoe's, I should say.
Yes, the original
Roscoe's, but I didn't know that there was a comedy room right next to it.
Comedy room. Literally, you can.
I wonder if Craig knows that.
It's 50 steps away.
Awesome.
I think they closed.
Oh, okay.
But it's called the Comedy Union. We literally had to turn the air conditioner off just to shoot. Like, it's that small. We shot this pilot, sent it to MTV, and they loved it. And they were like, yo, we're going to give you a real budget, and we're going to shoot a real pilot for you. And the deal is, if we don't pick this up.
I get it. You guys kind of just sort of did a warehouse version.
Yeah,
just
we did
for
our own thing.
Proof of concept.
Just proof of concept.
Got it.
And he was like, and Nick's so smart because he's like, I know if I do it myself, I can own a bigger piece.
Yep.
And so that's what happened. And then they gave us money to shoot a regular pilot. And they said, if we don't pick it up, you can shop our pilot that we paid for around.
Now that's a deal.
That was a hell of a deal, right? And so.
And they're removing ties at that point.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they ended up picking up 8 episodes. And that's when we started.
But how many years ago?
16 years ago. 16 years ago.
Yeah.
16 years ago.
Yeah.
And you know how I know that? My son was born when we did season 1. Oh, so I can always date it back to how old's my son? 16? Yeah, that's when it started.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's been a fun journey, and we're going into season. And my whole thing was like, I want this to take care of my son until he's 18. And he's going to turn 18, and so we'll probably be in season 25, and then I've made it to
that.
this. Yeah. And so now I need another show. I have twin girls. And now,
Oh!
so I have twin girls. So
We got
now
another.
They're 6, so I'm like, ooh, I need another show.
Right, what's the next one?
What's the next one? I don't know yet. We're going to find out.
How do we make this tiny thing scale?
Let's make it happen somehow. This is so dope, this thing.
We're having a little bit of audio issues on the YouTube.
Oh.
I'm not sure exactly what it
Well,
is,
there's
but good friend
not
Uncle
much-
Ken will let us know.
I appreciate that. Not much we can do about it here because all of our systems are
Okay, great.
running well.
I've done my job by
So
letting
apologize. It could be the Instagram as well. I don't know.
Yeah. So that was
That's
kind of how we
unbelievable.
got to it. Yeah. And then
But you've done so many other things than Wild 'N Out, though,
yeah,
too.
you know, just
Because Wild 'N Out, I guess, is a seasonal thing. So
it
you have,
is, but we shoot 30 episodes, so we shoot a season, but we do them in like 10 days. So we shoot 3 a day.
Got it.
And so it's kind of I'm in and out, and then I do award shows and other little and pilots here and there, and I'll get hired for this, that, and the third, and development stuff. And so
it's beautiful.
You know,
but you're doing what you like now.
I do what I love, you know, and that's, to me, that's what I'm trying to instill in my son is like, bro, there are jobs out there and you can do what you love or you can just do what you have to do. And I get it. I'm probably in the 1% of people who love going to work and like I tell jokes to my friends and get paid. And so,
Yeah, but you're also really, really appreciative of that.
Oh,
and that I
super.
think maybe why you have it in the first place.
I guess so. Yeah, maybe that's the energy that's
I mean,
been
you
put
work
out
really
there.
hard. I don't mean to imply
Yeah,
that
no, but
otherwise.
that's what it was. And I see up there it says think, manifest, be mental, and I'm like, that's my whole thing. Is manifestation is everything.
You can have whatever you want
You
if
can
you're.
have whatever you want. All you have to do is say it.
Say it, believe it.
Say it and believe it.
Work
and
towards
then it's
it.
Here. I watched Nick Cannon marry Mariah Carey.
Say
You
what?
know why? You know why? Because he said this 2 years before he ever met her. He says, if I ever get in a room with her, I'm going to marry her.
He told his manager,
what do I do?
who told me over drinks. Like, he said it forever ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super.
And regularly, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
laughed. I was like, yeah, okay.
Whatever, dude.
You're going to marry Mariah Carey. And then 2 years later.
That's your fantasy.
Right. And so I'm handing him a ring, and he's marrying Mariah Carey on the beach at her house. And
Unbelievable.
I'm like,
And you're there handing him the.
I'm like, I can't believe this is happening right now. But, you know, he believes in manifestation.
Yes.
Like, if he says this is what we're going to do, and it's happened for me. Every time I go like, yo, I want to do this, and it happens. And I just go, this is you know, this is how I live my life now.
A thing with Nick, a thing with us, at least certainly these days, and it seems to be something with you too. You seem to be motivated by love and good intentions,
Absolutely.
good motivations.
Absolutely. It's all about being motivated by everybody and everything, and trying to understand that sometimes you're gonna have good times, sometimes you're gonna have bad times. You know, my wife is probably the strongest person I've ever met.
Me too.
In my life, and my wife is a 2-time cancer survivor. And so when I met my wife, she had brain cancer. And she got through that, and I watched her go through that. And then she had breast cancer, and I watched her go through that. And I was like, my life? Warrior here has been through and fought real battles. And I go, when I see the things that people go through, it always inspires me to keep going, because I go like, yo, my life is not so bad. And I'm motivated by all these people that I get a chance to interact with and see, touch, and hold, and they're just so strong. You know what I mean? And my daughter has Down syndrome. I have twin girls, and one of my daughters has Down syndrome. And to see my wife go through what she went through gave me the strength to understand this is how you have to deal with adversity. And you have to deal with this, and then you realize, like, she's just a little girl. She's going to learn at her own rate.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to move at their own pace.
That's it.
And they're gonna understand things how they're going to understand things. And, you know, my job is to push people and motivate people the same way as I'm motivated by them. And so that's just kind of how I live. And I take everything for the goodness of it. You know what I mean? I go, where's the lesson in this? That's what I had to learn in my 40s. Like, where's the lesson in this? what am I learning? What am I getting out of this experience? Got it. I'm looking at her mental fortitude. I'm looking at when she's down, what I can do to motivate her, and she's motivating me. And the same thing with my daughters, and same thing with my son. You know what I mean? You know, he gets down on something, and I go, you know, got it. I've been through that.
Yeah.
Let me try to coach you through that. You know what I mean?
We've all been down.
We've all been
We're
down.
going down again.
Listen, everybody's, you know, and it's going to happen eventually. But, you know, it's about this ride that we're taking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, making best of the ride.
Let's just enjoy
the
this
ride.
I told somebody the other day, I said, I wish I found Good Vibes Breakfast Club years ago. But I was like, I didn't have a car like that to go. You know what I mean? I didn't get into cars until the first time I went up there.
But it's not even about the cars. Now, once you go up there a couple times, you realize it's not about the cars. Driving by, it looks like it's all about the cars.
So not about the cars.
Investigate a little deeper.
It's all
very
about
little.
the community. And
Yeah.
I was like, this community is so dope. And then I was like, now I get Good Vibes Breakfast Club. Because I was like, oh, this is a car meetup. Byron brought me up there. And I was like, oh, this is a real vibe.
You know Byron. Byron won't bring anybody to anything for no reason. You know what I mean? Like he's
right. And it was so like weird how it was like I run into Byron at a premiere party, and somehow he's talking about his
because that's
car.
his life now.
Right.
By the way.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Byron.
Yeah. Good job, Byron. You're killing it right now. And so I see him at a premiere party. He's like, yeah, man, I have a blah, blah, blah. And I said, I didn't even know what I was like. I don't know. I think I have a 996 or 997. I don't know. You know what I mean? I got one, you know, a long time ago and so he's like, do you drive? I'm like, yeah, I drive it.
You're like, you mean?
And he's like, you drive? I'm like, I guess, yeah, I drive it. And so he's like,
he's obviously asking you a different question.
He's asking me a question that I have no clue is coming, right? I'm like, oh, we're gonna just leisurely drift up to this little car meetup thing, right? Yeah, whatever. It could be, whatever. Man, he takes off, and I'm like, I don't know the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a fork somewhere that I'm gonna have to go left or right. So I'm trying to keep up, and I'm like.
And you do have a 996, right?
I have a 997.
997, okay.
Yeah, it's a 2006.
Well, now you know you have.
Now
we know. All right, so it's the same year as same car as ours.
Yes,
okay.
And your car is by far my favorite. And
I forgot you.
No, by far my favorite car. I was showing
forgot
my
about
wife,
the messages you sent me.
I was like, this is my favorite. I literally looked. I was like, there's a California edition Porsche. I have to get one. I have to find one. And I'm looking, and I'm like, there's no California edition. That's why I had to DM. I was like, yo, man, how did you?
Eventually, he sends me a message. He's like, here's the thing. I have scoured the internet. Is this a thing, or did you make it up?
Because then I was like, dope. Like, because there should be a California edition.
That's what I felt. I made a car that didn't exist. And then they brought it out a year later as the T. And they launched it in yellow.
What?
And no thank yous to you?
Nothing.
Can you believe it?
Nothing. The audacity.
Porsche.
No, isn't that funny though?
That's crazy.
But the fact that you were scouring and looking everywhere.
I was
to me is fun.
like, because Nick had two Porsche Californias.
Yeah, a little bit away from you.
Yeah, he had two Porsche.
Oh,
no, he had two. He had two Ferrari. He had two Ferrari Californias.
I
And
know
I was
how
like,
to use my mic. Sorry, she's giving me a different.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Fight with the host in the middle of the thing.
I was trying to be discreet, and it did not work.
That's the joy of this show, that everything can go off the rails at any moment.
Well, it does, because like we're not in a real production facility, so shit does happen.
You don't have a million
Amazon
people
delivers.
yelling back there. Yeah, it's like, oh, Uber Eats is here. You know what I mean?
It's happened. Right. And then she's here, and she's actually a great help. But meanwhile, I'm not used to it, so I'm just like, what? What do you want? What is
You're
that?
texting me, and I'm like, how do I do this in a way that's not going to be disruptive? And here we are.
To me, the disruption is the best part of it. It's the real life of it all. It's like that. It just tells you that you're doing this in your house.
Mom's coming in.
Mom.
Oh, I've already started thinking, I need a whiteboard back here. I just need to get the whiteboard so I can give you messages.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, the interruptions to me is probably.
Or just call it out. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Like if a kid or a dog just jumped on I'd be like,
that would be great.
This is your home.
Rosie would.
This is your home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have great mid-century furniture, by the way.
I can't help that. That's my taste. I
have a mid-century.
I care about all that stuff.
Mid-century house.
Oh, I used to be a docent at the Eames House. Yes, at the Eames Foundation.
I did notice that.
Okay.
I do have my Eames. I have a couple.
Okay.
I have a few in my home. Then what else do I have? I have the coat rack.
Oh, sure, the Dots coat rack.
Yeah, the Dots coat rack.
Do you have the rainbow one or the natural wood?
I have the natural wood.
Beautiful.
Because
that's a choice.
the gentleman before me that owned the house had the same one. I was like, oh, but he had the rainbow, and I was like, I gotta make it.
Hilarious. But you said, you know what? But it goes there, so I'm just gonna do this differently.
Yeah, and so my couches, I have they're wood backed, so it linked up perfectly, and I was like, oh, that's it. That's the vibe. I wanted my house to look like a art gallery.
Is your house a mid-century by a certain designer? We
No,
would know. Okay.
I wish.
No, I didn't mean it doesn't have to be Lautner or something.
Not Eichler.
I was going to say
or
sometimes
Neutra,
Eichler.
I wish it was, but and I probably need to go into find like who's the designer of this. Like,
You'd be surprised these days because I don't know what part of town you're in, but there's
I'm in Sherwood Forest.
Oh, that's amazing! I love that.
Yeah. Sherwood Forest.
It is from a fairy
Is
tale.
that for real?
It is from a fairy
I
tale.
live in Sherwood Forest.
There's
so cute.
Yeah.
There was
It's Northridge. Sherwood Forest.
I like Sherwood Forest a little better.
Forest, right? It's a little more posh.
But there are Eichlers out there somewhere, isn't there? Or they're further west.
I would love
probably.
to have an Eichler that was unidentified, and then
They were usually all built together. You know what I mean?
in the little
developments and
community.
stuff,
Yeah, and so the guy that I bought it from, that's really what he deals in is MCM. So, so I was like, "Who's this designer?" He's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Oh, you would have known if it was
somebody."
It
Yeah.
was somebody.
There's some in Mar Vista that they use in the movies and TV all the time that you would know that Girk 2 that lives in one.
Yeah,
I could go deep on the mid-century furniture and architecture design.
And I
just
don't meet
love
that
it.
many people that are into that. So it's
A lot of the Porsche people. There are a lot of some of the best mid-century people in Los Angeles are Porsche people that come up to GVBC. Yeah.
Oh, super dope. Yeah, I commented on somebody's post. I forgot who it was, but I was like, "Yeah, I have an MCM house," and he was like, "Oh yeah, you're invited to the next thing." I was like, "Oh great."
There you go.
Did you see there was like a meetup that was a mid-century meetup. I think it was last weekend or something like that, and I only saw it after the fact.
That's not the one you were at?
No, I didn't go to that one.
Okay.
I think it was like the same day that there was a bunch going on, as it is in LA. There's just
Yeah,
so much going on
so
these
much
days
happening.
now that things are opening back up. But there was some event, and it was a bunch of beautiful 70s Porsches. A lot of people from the community were there.
Who's the guy that has the white Porsche with the
David Keynes.
Is that who it is?
With the natural
with the gold in the front?
Yeah, gold in the front and exposed metal in the back.
That's who I mentioned something to. I was like, "Hey, I want to be invited to your next
Will
thing."
you see his mid-century house?
Really?
Holy crap! Yeah, his wife ran. Maybe she still participates, but she used to run Modernism Week in Palm Springs.
Get out of here.
Oh yes, sir.
Me and my wife.
They know
like,
what they're doing.
We're gonna go to Modernism Week, and then COVID hit, and it was like, "Oh, we don't want to go. I want to what?"
I think she ran that for a number of years, and she still is involved. And they're always back and forth to Palm Springs, and they always bring both cars because it's more fun to drive too. I mean, they're just awesome.
Great.
Love to David Keynes and Ariana Keynes.
That's so dope.
Yeah,
Such a great community up there, and that's what was so like. Even when I explained it to people, and they're like, "I don't have a Porsche," I'm like, "It doesn't matter. Just come on up."
Are you willing to take a Friday morning off and go get some fresh air and meet some cool people?
I'm like, Friday morning, you're gonna meet the coolest people in the world. My uncle came up. I brought my boy RJ the last time, and my boy James Hunter, and he was like,
Was RJ the one with the 993 convertible?
No, that was Bentley.
Oh, you're
Bentley.
kidding?
Yeah, that was Bentley.
That was your uncle.
That was my uncle.
How
I rode
cool.
with him. Yeah, so
I didn't realize that.
And he's the
I was
reason
telling
why
him how much I liked his car and stuff. I didn't realize.
And that he's original owner. Bought it in '95
because he was writing television.
He was writing television. You know what I mean? And on a network. You know.
So
what I mean?
wait, he was the one that used to show run Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to him next time because I worked on Everybody Hates Chris with Tisha for years.
Dope. Yeah. So
and by the way, by everybody else, it was Tisha Campbell. But then, what was the main Martin's girlfriend? She would be on our show all the time too.
Oh wait, his girlfriend. Tisha, yeah.
Oh no, Tisha Campbell was the girlfriend.
Tisha Campbell was the
Our girl from Everybody Hates Chris was Tashina Arnold.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
But both of them were inseparable.
Oh yeah,
on and off the set.
They still are. We just did I just worked on the Martin Show reunion show that we did for BET.
Oh, nice.
Is it already out?
No, it's coming.
I can't wait.
It was the first time I had been hired with my uncle, so it was a super dope moment for me because it was like, and then I got a chance to be a part of I felt like I was a part of the Martin show.
Absolutely.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
you are now. That's the thing.
Now
You're
I
now
am.
weaved into the DNA of it.
Yeah, and so now that it was such a cool moment because the production.
Martin!
Yeah, right. And they were like, "You want to work on this thing with your uncle?" I'm like, "What?"
On a classic
on
sitcom?
A classic? I was like, yeah.
And at the level that you're at too, it's not just coming in as a PA. It's not just your first job, the first like you're gonna have to work hard, get your foot in the door. It's like, oh no, I am a well-established adult man here.
I am.
Here to do
I
my
have the
job,
same
'cause y'all
title as my
respect
uncle.
me.
Yep.
And so
that's amazing.
That's
it was super cool, and but it's still like, I'll still defer to you.
Of course. Still his show, right?
And he's still my uncle.
Yeah, he's still your uncle.
Still my uncle.
And he's got many seasons of Martin
He's
under
got
you.
many seasons of Martin and so many other shows. So yeah.
Oh man, that's amazing. So I mean, well then what's next? I mean, you've had some major professional accomplishments.
Yeah,
Where do you want to go?
I want another show. I want a show for my daughters.
Awesome.
I want
one for them to watch,
I want
or one for them to work on.
I want one. So the show that I'm trying to pen up right now is called Ups and Downs, and it's a modern family about a family that lives together but they're broken up, and the dad lives in the finished basement and the mom lives upstairs, and they co-parent. They're not together, and there's twins, and one of them has Down syndrome.
I love it.
So that's the next show but I want to create opportunities for children or people that have a disability to work in television because you don't get a chance to see that a lot.
Amazing.
And I want something for my daughter to have and go, this is a place where I can work and feel safe.
Absolutely. And just to be able to look at and go, okay, I understand that.
And
That's
this is
representing me.
Kind of about my life a little bit.
Representing
what I
me,
mean?
yeah.
So that's
that's
the next thing
beautiful.
I'm penning up. Right
Well, if it's close enough to your real story or whatever, if there's enough of your own heart in that, it can't not go.
Yeah. So
I mean,
and now I'm putting it out there because I've never really manifested a show or said anything, but I'm putting this out there. This is it.
Done.
This is it. Emmy time.
That's real.
This is it. That's the show closer.
I love it.
Oh man, you are so inspiring. Do you understand that? Do you
Nah,
realize that? Do
I
you know that
wish.
when you talk to people that your enthusiasm is very inspiring?
No, sometimes, but that's what I have to do for on Wild 'N Out. I'd run the improv workshops and stuff like that, and I'm very much like kick you in the butt, military style. Like let's get it done. Like why are you not doing better? You should be doing better. Let's go. What are we doing?
That's not what I see from you right now. I see so much compassion.
I
And
know.
So much like
you know what? And that's the different side of me. That's the there's a different side of me. But most of the time, I always motivate I go, oh, you don't want to get any money? That's fine.
Yeah, you don't have to.
No, that's fine.
We'll keep it.
No, it's all, we'll be over here getting money, so you don't have to do that. No, you stay over there. And that's how I really kick people in the butt.
Does that wake them up?
A lot, because oftentimes people are telling you how great you are, and you're not. And they're saying, "Oh man, you and they're believing this, and they're not putting out the effort because no one's telling them, "Hey, you can do better."
Oh.
You know what I mean? You can do better.
They're not putting out the extra effort to strive to be better each time. See, I can't do anything without being one notch better each time, or at least trying.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
No matter what it is.
But that's a skill set that you developed that is very rare.
That seems so odd to me because it's intuitive.
You think it is, but a lot of people are left to their own means, and especially like a comedian. How often is a comedian going to be pushed by someone? You know what I mean? Somebody's going to say, you know what?
Every time they're on stage in my
It's why
mind.
they surround themselves with who they do.
Right, and they surround themselves with people who will either they're going to tell you they're trash, and you need to do better, and they respect them, or it's going to be a bunch of yes men, and you don't need a bunch of yes men.
Your peer group
Usually the
either
latter.
pushes you up or
they tear you down, and then you got to determine whether or not this was constructive criticism or not. And so the way I do it is I say, I didn't laugh. I know you got to, but that joke could be better. And I'm not a comedian, but I'm a writer, and I go, you can make a better joke because you're super smart.
You're the coach I want. I want to do improv with you, man.
Hey, listen,
very
all I
supportive.
want to do is I just want to make you. I want to go. you have this great talent, but let's dig something else out of you, because there's no one else to do that when you're in your adult life. Like, how often is some adult going to be able to say, yo, man, you could do better, unless you're playing a sport, you know what I mean? And I go, yo, man, you're better than that. I see it. And if you don't want it, that's fine. But if you want me to help you bring some of that out, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
You know?
It boils down to somebody believing in you. And somebody saying, I see what you're putting out there, and I know it's not good enough for you and what you can do.
That part.
So show me what you can do, because you're not bringing it right now. You're not showing me what you're capable of, and I can see it.
Absolutely.
That has an impact on people.
People
that are there to strive for more.
That's it. I was playing basketball in high school, and this one of my teammates, his name was Roach. Man, I missed a layup that was like easy, and I'll never forget. He turned me around. He says, "You're better than that," and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Every moment matters.
He expects more out of me, and I am. And I always took that. I've never told him that, but I've never told him that. I love Roach, but I think Roach is in jail. I don't know.
You know, so edit this, right? Like,
yeah, but realistically, like, that lit a fire under me, because someone that I believe told me, "You're better than that. You're not giving me everything you can." And I was like, and I didn't even care about the coach. It was like him saying that because I respected him.
Yeah, that's what it comes
and
down to.
that was a big thing for me. And I was like, I'm gonna always take that from people.
Respect seems to go a long way with you too. You seem to be a very respectful person.
I try to be. I try to live by respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
give
I
it to
respect
get it
you.
kind of thing.
Yeah, give it to get it. You know, I'm dealing with teenage angst with my son and levels of respect right now, and it's, and we're gonna come to clashes, but and he's like, "You're hard on me," and I know he's feeling that, and I go, "No, I love you."
Yeah. This is going to make you better, and one day, you don't believe me now, one day you will thank me.
And as many times as you say that, they're never going to believe that.
No, I was 40 before the time I saw it. You know what I mean? Late 30s easily.
But you have to bump heads every now and then, and you go, "Look, man, you're going to love me for this soon. You don't understand it. I understand it because I've seen people go left, and I've seen people take a wrong path, and I'm going to bump my head as much as I can, because if I leave you, see, me not loving you is letting you do your thing."
Interesting.
I'm not setting a boundary. When you tell a child, "I don't want you to go past here. Stop." You're setting a boundary because I love you. Because the next time I say, don't do something, if I don't, you're just going to wander out in the street, and then you're going to be dead.
Interesting.
And I go, we have to set boundaries for each other, and all of that comes with respect.
Preach.
These are fundamental learning lessons that are kind of lost these days.
They are.
I mean, I don't think you just being a parent is why you necessarily see these things. I think because you are a parent who has extra struggles on top of just being a parent.
Yeah, you have all these different things in your life that shape you.
That's it. I think they give you a different perspective.
Yeah.
Than just whatever. And I think the fact that you are using that perspective, like we're trying to, for good and for enlightenment or whatever you want to call it, just simply sharing your knowledge, sharing your wealth. I think maybe that's another reason why you're successful. But all I can see is just a big hunk of burning love, and I just want to hug you all the time,
That's all
brother.
I'm on big hugs.
Yes.
On big hugs. You need one, I got one.
But that's where I guess that's why you're here. That's why I wanted you on the show. It wasn't because you're a famous producer of Wild and Out and such.
I wish
it
I
was
famous.
because
I don't. I really don't.
But you know what I mean? It was because of the rest.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what makes the world go around. So.
I appreciate you having me on the show.
I want to know how you got to that place, because it wasn't just, well, your wife has gone through a bunch of stuff and your kids are dealing with stuff and you're the dad wrangling it all. There's got to be more to it.
Well, it's when you kind of come from, I come from South Central Los Angeles, so I'm LA born and raised. I lived in the Bay, so and then my dad lived in New York, so I would spend my summers in New York.
That's where I know about you is relatable.
Yeah, so my dad lived in Harlem, and so I would always, my dad called me the bi-coastal kid, because I was always here and there. So I got a lot from New York life, I got a lot from LA life, and then I got a lot from, going to school in the Bay Area too. Mm-hmm. And so I think that traveling around and moving around and having to deal with different people, like Like I was always jealous of my uncle because he grew up in one area and he has all his same friends from like Little League are still his friends. I don't have any of that.
Yes.
I always had to find new friends because I was constantly moving around.
Yeah, I'm like you.
And so I think that kind of strengthens you a little bit to understanding different perspectives of different people.
Well, it kind of doesn't it equate to travel? Like later in life, they say, "Oh, if you want to learn perspective about the world, go travel."
I mean,
as a kid, you're traveling. Whether it's one town to another town, you're getting distance that your friend doesn't have.
To your dad's house, you know what I mean?
That's it.
Yeah.
But it's, you know what I mean, for even if it's on a small scale. So whatever it is, it's perspective that those other kids didn't have. So maybe it started that early for you.
Maybe it did. Maybe it was just the diversity of where I was and the things that I was seeing. You know, it was a lot of killing going on in the 80s in South Central. You know,
they wrote a lot of songs about it.
They wrote a lot of songs and a lot of famous movies about my neighborhood. Yeah. And so coming from that, you know, you have a little different texture.
So there's an underlying gratitude.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I had nothing. So you go, when you come from not much, everything is up from here. I'm like, I bought a house, like,
earned it. Deserve it. Yeah.
I got a Range Rover. I'm like, I won. Like, I won when I got a Prius. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it didn't matter, like, whether it was luxury or not. It was just like, you know, I accomplished the things that I want. Like, I always say that you become successful when you've accomplished all the things that you want to do. Mm-hmm. And I remember there was a moment where I sat back and I went, oh, this was the goal that I got here.
Like when I was a kid?
Yeah, like I remember being on the Jamie Foxx show at his 100th episode party, and I was like, I gotta go write something. And I was just like, I gotta get to this. I gotta get to this. And we just cracked 300 episodes. You know what I mean?
Sir.
And so,
yes, sir.
So to me, it was like, and then I remember, but this is the dope part about it. I sat there with that thought of like, dang, I got to where I wanted to be. And then I was like, oh, now you have to set new goals.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's the hard part. You're ground zero again.
Anybody successful, they always say, like, you know, what was the one thing is, oh, I wish I set higher goals, or oh, I wish I had set my goals further out, or whatever.
Yeah,
and that's like a weird. That's a weird thing. That's a weird thing to hear back though from somebody who's like wicked successful.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a second, what else could you have done?
What else could you have done? And to me, I don't call success. Success is only like if you wanted to do something, you got there. Like, it's never about money. It's never about a status.
It's up here.
It's all up here.
Satisfaction.
And I was like, oh, and I was on a flight with my wife the other day, and I said, if I died today, I'm satisfied. And that's the satisfaction. I was like, I came to do what I wanted to do. I did it, and I'm not going to leave this earth with any regrets if anything happened to me. And I was like, then to me, that's a good feeling.
Well, that's also that's where the magnet starts, because that is letting go. And once you've let go is when, like, holy crap, get everything out of the way, because the floodgates are about to come this way.
Hey,
so whatever show you're about to get might be really big.
Listen, I think that I always feel like I'm at the very beginning. I'm like, you got one show out of the way. All right, now let's come on. What's the next thing? You know what I mean? And I go, you see, people that have legacies of different TV shows, and I go like, I just like, thank you, Wild 'N Out, for giving me this, and now it's time for something new. And now I want to go back to scripted.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize that I was in an unscripted world for so long.
You didn't realize?
Like, I should have realized, but I didn't, because it was doing well. I didn't realize that my heart was still in scripted. And so I was like, oh, I got to go do something that really feeds what I really want to do.
This started with somebody who wanted to be a writer. So that this all tracks to me.
Yeah, I'm sure. This is beyond amazing. You don't understand, man. Like,
you don't understand. Well, I'm thrilled that you're here sharing it with me, and that you're jazzed by it.
I'm super thrilled to be here.
Well, then you're going to come back, because there's shit more to talk about.
Can't wait.
What's a Mariah Carey story we don't know?
Oh, what's a Mariah Carey? Oh man. Oh wow. You know what? As soon as I leave, I'm going to think of a good one.
Yeah, 100%.
What is a Mariah Carey story?
No, don't get yourself in trouble.
I know, right?
Wait,
let me
y'all
think.
both have twins.
Yeah.
That's
you know what?
so cute.
Here's what's crazy. Nick and I both have, our names start with N, 4 letters, and he had he had fraternal twins. I had fraternal twins. And then at one time before he had a million other kids, he had a boy and I had a boy. And it was just...
There was a weird parallel.
And you know what was weird? Because I was like, maybe... Like, I watched Fight Club, and I was like, maybe he's my...
Oh, we just watched that the other day.
Yo,
it's a much better movie as an adult once you've had some years on you.
Yeah, once you understand...
The realization!
Yeah, because I was like, I don't work out like Nick does. And I was like, maybe he's... And I was like, nah. But we have some of the same sensibilities and some of the same ways we grew up. And I always go, like, he's like my brother, like one of my best friends. And I go, like, it's weird that, you know, we have all these similarities, like I said, the name and, you know, the kids and everything. And I was just like, all right, this is weird.
What do you always say? Life doesn't repeat, it rhymes?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of truth to that. There's really a lot of truth to that because if you look at the cycles, it just keeps happening over and over and over.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily repeat. It's just really very similar.
I saw a quote the other day. It said, because I was going through this thing with my son, and it said, and it was a repetitive thing. It said, strong men create... No, it says, tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. And easy times create weak men.
Saw this.
And weak men create tough times. And it's cyclical. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm at a point where I'm creating, like, because everybody wants their kids to be better and you want to give them everything. And I told my son the other day, I said, I want to give you everything, but I can't. I want to give you everything that I didn't have, but I can't.
It's a disservice if I do that.
It is a disservice. And another time, it's like, you're not going to understand this until later.
Yeah. No way. I want whatever it is now.
Yeah.
And if you really love me, you'd get it for me or whatever.
Exactly. And, you know, I had to understand these things about, you know, growing up but I was like, oh, wow, the next gen, because I'd be like, yo, this generation is terrible. I was like, yo, they're the weakest. And I was like, oh, well, it comes from tough times, us creating easier times, and now these easier times, and then it's going to be tough again.
Are you like your parents at all? Because I know that I am like the polar opposite of my mother. Even though we're so similar, like there's a lot of DNA shit you can't change, or it's really hard. I should say it's really hard because you can change it all, but it's really hard. Working on it. But the rest, like the way we do business, the way we do life, couldn't be more opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and my mother are kind of the same person.
Oh.
We're kind of like, whatever. My mother is the oldest of 5 brothers, so she was super tough.
Oh, okay.
She was
hard to impress.
Yeah, she was tough love. She was very much like, yeah, you scraped your knee, okay.
Are you an only child?
I'm an only child.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm an only child.
Maybe we had that too.
Yeah, that's
probably
what it is.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah,
we got all the DNA.
Yeah, and we got all the cereal. I would say, you know, you didn't have to share any boxes of cereal with anybody.
You had cereal.
You guys are jealous of that. With all your brothers and sisters that you got to play with.
You got the toy. You always got the toy.
Got the toy every time.
I never got the toy. I was the baby and I had a brother. I never got the toy.
Look at that.
Unless the toy sucked and he didn't want it.
Right?
All right, Ariel, producer Ariel has gotten a word in. Producer Mike over in Canada, is there anything you would like to ask Nile Evans?
I got a couple, 2 comments and a question, I suppose. The first comment is I find it fascinating, Nile. You were talking about legacy. First off, you're so inspirational to me as well. Thank you for sharing here. It's unbelievable. The first observation is Uncle was a big part, who's obviously the inspiration, was a big part of 2 gregarious, multifaceted entertainers and helped push them to that next level, which is exactly, you followed right in his footsteps and did that exact same thing. I find that fascinating. The second thing, ups and downs, not just clever, but I think timely. I remember when Life Goes On came out, was in the late 80s, early 90s or whatever. And I think about where we are in as a society, needing diversity and some of these things, ups and downs, extremely clever. Can't wait for that. That's a phenomenal idea and timely for a variety of reasons. The other thing I want to ask you, Have you ever suffered imposter syndrome? Because you're coming across like
wow.
you have just decided that you could do something and just went for it. Were there ever times that there were doubts and you didn't think you should be in that room? And what did you do to push through it?
Yo, this is so crazy because I just learned what imposter syndrome was.
It's a very
maybe
real thing.
about 6 or 7 months ago, because I was dealing with that over the COVID. I was dealing with the most insecure. That was the most insecure time I'd ever had. Was maybe about 6 months ago. I'm in the house and I'm having this thought of like, the network doesn't like me. You know, they're not really on my side. And I'm having these doubts about like, maybe I'm just on because of Nick, or maybe it's because I'm his friend. And I'm having all these doubts circulating. And then
Your human got involved.
Yo.
Yeah.
And somebody said, yo, you're dealing with imposter syndrome. And I was like, I don't think that I'm an imposter. And I was like, oh, imposter. Got it. And it's so ironic that he brings that up, because I went through that literally over the last like 6 to 8 months. And
For the first time in your life.
Yeah, until we came back. When we came back, I was like, oh, this is the reason why I'm here.
I have value again.
Yeah.
I can make television.
But I really felt very insecure about my job, about a lot of things that I was just making these things up in my head because I had too much time to think about it.
If I can jump in here, Mike and Nile, I think that anybody who I've ever experienced who suffers from imposter syndrome is an artist.
Yeah.
Is a genuine artist,
Yeah.
whether of their craft, whatever it is.
Got to be insecure.
It's part of it. It's
It
a
is.
part of it, whether you're a performer, whether you're a writer, it doesn't matter. And I think that, I think of our fine artist, Nicholas Hunziker, that's something we used to talk about together. I mean, this guy has paintings at the factory of Porsche and the museum of Porsche. You know what I mean? He's made it. You can't get any bigger.
Right.
He still feels the same way. So
Right.
I would guess maybe Nick and other people at his level probably feel the same
I
way.
think everybody feels it at a certain point, but when you're going through it, it's such a personal thing, and you're like, and you don't really want to share it.
No, because
You know what I mean?
it's embarrassing. You
It's-
feel like you lost your value.
I'm like, I have 3 kids and a wife. I cannot have these feelings right now. Why am I having these feelings? And
You mean you can't afford the feelings?
I can't. Yeah, I definitely can't afford the feelings. I go like, I gotta get my game together. But I felt like I didn't have a value. I felt like, and I didn't know where that came from until someone said, "Oh, here's a label for it." I was like, oh, "Thank you for that," because And then I talked to my therapist about it. I was like, "Yo, what is this?" She's like, "Oh yeah, this is a common thing." I was like, I'm glad I heard about this.
Especially for people in your industry.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're a creative, you're super insecure.
That's it.
And
We're doing things other people aren't. We're taking chances. That is tough.
Big chances out here, and I just go like, and I was like, I leave to go to Atlanta, go shoot the show. I have this weird nervousness until I get there. Ooh. I have this nervousness like everything's gonna fall apart.
Really?
And then I get there and I'm like, oh, I'm back. Let's go. Let's get this thing done. And it's amazing that he brought that up because, I mean,
He's producer Mike there in Canada is pretty intuitive.
I see.
He really is. He's got a gift too.
Oh man, that's amazing that you brought it up because it's something that people need to talk about, especially being creatives.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's actually a survival mechanism. We're hardwired to only see the danger. And the reason for that is because we are built for dangerous times of, lions and tigers and bears and everything trying to eat us. So when we don't actually have that danger in front of us, what your brain is doing is making those things appear because it doesn't come from anywhere else. So it's like it's a loud voice.
It's
all
basically
BS.
trained behavior.
You need
She's
that.
right. That's
You need to feel that
So
insecurity.
you have to remember, oh, this isn't real. This is my reptilian brain because there ain't nothing around here for me to be scared of.
Right.
So I need to come back to my truth. I need to look at my social proof of what I've done, who I am, get on that plane, do the thing, and just remember, that's not real.
Right. You got to remember who you are sometimes. You know what I mean?
Plus, your mom loves you.
She does. She does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know.
That's what I always go back to.
Yep.
It's the same thing as my cat. We got a 22-year-old cat, and every time whenever we leave, she gets, she's got that separation anxiety at this point. She follows me in every room, and every time I say, "Look, you have nothing to worry about. All you need to remember is your daddy loves you."
Yep. Daddy loves you.
You know, that's
I'm
literally
coming back.
the moment you get scared, just remember your daddy loves you.
That's it.
And I think whenever I get scared in life, I think that my dad passed away when I was young, but it's the same thing. I think my mom, my dad, whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody out there loves you.
Somebody loves you. That's real.
Sometimes it is enough to carry you on.
It is sometimes. And then, you have the moments going through the crest at 100 miles an hour, and then you go, oh, there's where my fear comes from.
That's real, too. That's real, too.
Here it is.
Here it is.
Oh, my God.
I told Byron, I said, man, I got kids, man. I can't be doing this, man. Like, what are you doing? But the vibe was so cool, I had to come back.
I was going to say, and you've been back many times since.
I was like, I told the assistant, I said, this is my Friday morning.
Clear
Do
my
not
Fridays.
Clear it. Clear it. I need this.
The other thing, it's all creatives up there these days. Not all, but I mean the amount of creatives up there. It's become like a little artist colony.
Yeah, because I was like, I told Byron, I said, you sure it's not Saturday? I said, it's Friday morning. People got to work. And he was like, I was like, this must be some industry people because
it
who
is.
has Friday morning
It's all
off?
musicians and writers. and
Yeah,
everything else.
And I got up there, I was like this, home.
Perfect. Nile Evans, how do people follow you?
At Nile Evans.
On the Instagram, Twitter.
I'm not really on Twitter.
No, me neither.
I'm Smoke Producer on Twitter. I got rid of my Twitter a long time ago.
Same here. You still do Facebook?
I do Facebook.
I'm still on the Facebook too.
still on
But why?
Facebook.
Is it
We're
because of our
fossils.
classmates and our
Yep,
parents and stuff?
We're fossils.
Me too.
We need that. This
fossils.
was our introduction to social media. Like that was when we got good at it. And then they switched it up to Instagram. They're like, oh.
In the beginning, you had to be a part of a school.
Yeah,
to
you
be at
had to.
college. And then all of a sudden, when I was at Paramount doing Everybody It's Chris, like 05 or something like that, they unlocked it for everybody.
Yeah,
and
I
then
was
all of a sudden,
this is cool.
yeah, so long MySpace.
Right. MySpace went away.
I still have my old school email address on there. I never go on Facebook.
Get out of here.
If I got locked out,
Is classmates.com still around?
Probably.
That one.
Yep.
That was the
And
first
they're like
one.
this, yeah,
You had to pay for that,
somebody,
I think.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, somebody in your class wants to talk to you.
Yeah, but you got to be a premium member if you want to get the message.
Right, you got to pay
like,
$19.95.
I go, hey, let's see who it's from. Who is that? Nah, I'm good.
So do you make the T-shirts?
What, Good Vibes?
Yeah.
If they're actually made by, I don't know who they're made by.
Okay.
But I mean, what, do you want one? We'll get you
I
one.
need a 3X.
Oh, yeah.
I went on the site. I bought the sticker pack. Like, I bought in. I was like, I'm in.
We don't know if they make a 3X. Is that the issue? Do we
I
only
don't
have
know.
double X?
It's
All right.
the option isn't there.
So David at
I
Guards
bought a
Rad.
double X, I think.
Oh, and or RL. David Guards Rad 3X. We need to find out if 3X is an option. And I don't think you're the first person to ask for that. Didn't Hank on camera 4 ask for a large
I'm like,
size?
give me
as well?
the screen. I'll make my own. I was like,
Oh, that's good.
I was like, this is the coolest thing in the world.
Thanks, brother.
I promise you. Like, all I do is talk about this thing, and I wasn't into cars until a month ago.
Hilarious.
I
And so you're
honestly-
the opposite of Reggie. Reggie was always into cars, and this gave him an excuse to come out of the closet.
This the drive made me appreciate my car, and now I follow all these, Porsche sites, and I'm just
That's
like,
right.
oh my God, like I didn't understand what this was.
You're going deep.
Now I'm in deep.
It happens.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is all the stuff I missed before. Heyo! Dang, Heat Control Show from Canada. Let's see. Insta audio feedback. Sorry about that. I think we got it resolved. Irene Hoffman. Way to go, kids. May I make a clean trade of my 2017 Toyota Tacoma? 38,000 miles for one of them there. I think
One
she
of
wants
them
it.
there,
She
what?
wants a Porsche. If I'm not mistaken, though, that is Rupert of Rupert G and the Hello Deli, as in, remember the old Late Show with David Letterman?
Yeah.
That is Rupert's girlfriend, Irene
Get
Hoffman,
outta
there.
here.
So hello to her.
That's super cool.
Zach Stokes had to switch to this from the IG feed. Sound is way blown out on IG. Sorry about that. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Should be better next
Things
time.
happen.
Should be better next time. And Zach Stokes says that's exactly the shit. Just to head up and there and check it out. Absolutely. Awesome. Can you, and then I'm cutting all the cameras over here while I talk to you.
incredible.
This is insane.
Yeah, it's really.
This is insane. This is
I'm
the
telling
best
you, tell
grown
your
man
friend.
toy ever. Like, I saw somebody had a speakeasy in his house, and I was like, oh, that's dope. Like, you open up the door, and there's, like, whiskey and stuff. And
That's
I was
pretty
like,
awesome.
yeah.
no, this. This trumps that.
And for people who've never sat in a control room and who don't understand television, you will never understand.
You're never gonna appreciate
what
it.
is going on in this
Oh, how
room.
much is happening in
Yeah,
here?
you couldn't.
It's hard
you
to
couldn't
describe.
possibly. And with 6 camera.
Because
It's
I had to be every audio. Well, I don't want to make this about me, but you have to be a department head for every department in order to get this done. So I had to be an audio department head, a lighting department head, a set department, set dressing, all of it, camera.
The best grown man.
So it's very fun. Well, the writing and the directing has been.
Well,
we need help
now.
but luckily a lot of people are helping. Nile Evans on all the things, NILE-EVANS. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for
everything.
me. This was amazing. Like, there's just the whole experience, and just
it's not a podcast. Everyone's
not.
like, so what's your podcast about? I'm like, well, you really got to check it out because it's not really a podcast.
It's a late night TV show. But it happens at 5.
They all do. She works on Kimmel. Reggie works on Late.
Love it.
4:30 to 5:30, baby.
This is the best thing.
Follow Nile Evans. We are back on Thursday with Pinstripe Chris. Check it out. Pinstripe Chris is going to be back. We're going to be talking about his 348 Ferrari that he just bought and I just drove, along with the 355 I just drove, and we're trying to line up a 360 as well. Also, he's bringing back the Porsche that he took home to customize with a paint job we will be unveiling tomorrow. I have no idea what he did. He's a wonderul artist.
I see him doing the art and stuff.
You follow him, so you're
I'm
fully
in
on board.
Deep. I'm in deep.
So he made us a little. We had a Porsche here, and he took it home to customize it. So
Get
we're going to
outta here.
unveil that on Thursday, as well as talk about his Ferrari, and all of the things we didn't do here tonight on this show with Nile.
Love it. It's amazing.
Mrs. Ryan, I love you. I think that's about it, right? We're good with everything. Ariel, did I remember everything? Producer Mike, are we good? He says
Peace and love, everybody.
With that, thank you very much for watching. We love everybody, and we'll see you back here on Thursday with Pinstripe Chris.
This is the coolest thing.